Good morning, dears. Hope all are fine, studying well for your exams and writing well your exams also. So, today you are going to have biology unit test. Please write your name, class, and division when you send the images. So, in your test paper book, you have to, when you write the answers, above the answers, before writing answers, date, your name, standard and division should be there. Then only it will be easy for the teachers to identify your name. So please do it and write your unit test very well in a nice handwriting and correct the answers also carefully. So today we are going to revise once more what all things we studied before. So chapter 1, crop production and management up to irrigation. So what is crop? So same kind of plants cultivated at one place on a large scale is called a crop. So same kind of plants cultivated at one place on a large scale is called a crop. Example, paddy crop, wheat crop, vegetables, fruits, all these comes under crops. Then we discussed about two cropping patterns, kharif crops and rabi crops. Kharif crops, that is during rainy season from June to September, example paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, cotton, etc. And then about rabi crops, that is in winter season, October to March, example wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseed, etc. So kharif and rabi crops we discussed. Next we discussed about several activities that is involved in crop production. So basic practices of crop production as agricultural activities. 7 steps we have studied. We have there 7 steps. So preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting and storage. But we have discussed up to irrigation only. So preparation of soil. So for your unit test, you have portion preparation of soil, sowing, adding manures and fertilizers, then irrigation. Up to irrigation you have for the exam. So one by one, these 4 steps we will discuss today. So first, preparation of soil. So in the preparation of soil, we have to prepare the soil for sowing the seeds. Here the first step, tilling or ploughing. The process of loosening and turning of soil is called tilling or ploughing. So in the preparation of soil, first step is loosening the soil or turning the soil. That process is called tilling and ploughing. What is the need for tilling or ploughing? Or why should we? What are the advantages? So roots can penetrate. By tilling and ploughing, roots can penetrate easily because the soil is loose. Then roots can breathe easily. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes, and it also brings the nutrient rich soil to the top. So these are the advantages of the process of tilling or ploughing. Or why should we loosen or turn the soil? So these are the advantages. Roots can penetrate easily. 4 advantages. Then roots can breathe easily. Then the loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworm and microbes. Then it brings the nutrient rich soil to the top. So for the process of tilling or ploughing, we have to use some tools, agricultural tools. They are called agricultural implements. So which are the agricultural implements? Plough, hoe, cultivator. 3 are there. So we discussed about plough, then hoe and cultivator. That you can read from the textbooks. So what is the use of a hoe, what it is made up of, all these things. So for what purpose it is used? Plough is used for tilling, adding fertilizers, removing weeds, scraping soil. These are the uses of a plough. Then it is made up of wood or iron. Then it is while turning, big pieces of soil crumbs will be there. With a wooden plank we will that is leveler, we will level the soil. So all these things we have discussed. So which are the three agricultural implements used for tilling or ploughing? Plough, hoe, cultivator. And for what purpose hoe is used? For removing weeds, loosening the soil. Then cultivator, what are the advantages of cultivator over plough and hoe? That is saves time and saves labor because it is driven by tractor, machine driven. The next step in the basic practices of crop production, sowing. So what is sowing? Sowing is the process of planting seeds or scattering seeds in the soil for growing the crop plants. So what is sowing? Sowing is the process of planting seeds or scattering of seeds in the soil for the growth of crop plants. Then what are the important tasks in sowing? First is selection of seeds. So we have to select good quality seeds. So what are the features of good quality seeds? Good quality seeds are clean, healthy, it is of a good variety and give a high yield. So what are the features of good quality seeds? They are clean, then healthy, then good variety and give a high yield for the farmer. Then damage, how will we separate good quality seeds from damaged seeds or bad seeds? So damaged seeds are hollow and light in weight, so they float on water. So when we put seeds in water, healthy seeds will sink, but damaged seeds will float on water because they are hollow and light in weight. Next we discussed about tools used for sowing of seeds. Traditional tools and seed drill. So traditional tool, funnel shaped. In that funnel we will fill the seeds. Then 2 or 3 pipes are running and one end of the pipe is sharp. So they pierce the soil and place the seeds in the soil. This is the traditional tool, funnel shaped. Then seed drill. That is also tractor driven. So advantages of seed drill: uniformly at proper distance and depth. It saves time and labor. So it uniformly at proper distance and depth, it will sow the seeds and it saves time and labor. That is about the tools used for sowing of seeds. Then we discussed the third step, adding manures and fertilizers. So what is a manure? Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal waste. So manure is an organic substance that we get by the decomposition of plant and animal waste or when the plants and animals die. So the process of adding manures to replenish the soil with nutrients is called manuring. So the process of adding manure is called manuring. Then what are the advantages of manure? It enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. Soil can hold water. Then it makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases becomes easy. Then it increases the number of friendly microbes such as earthworms and other bacteria. Then it improves the texture of the soil. So 4 advantages of manure are: it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases becomes easy. Then it increases the number of friendly microbes. It improves the texture of the soil. Then fertilizers. What are called fertilizers? Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in a particular nutrient. So fertilizers are chemical substances. They are made in factories which are rich in a particular nutrient. Example: urea, potash, ammonium phosphate, superphosphate, NPK. NPK means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So give some examples of fertilizers: urea, potash, ammonium phosphate, superphosphate and NPK. Then how can we keep the soil healthy? Substituting fertilizers by organic manure or keeping the field left or leaving the field uncultivated, that is fallow, so that it will replenish the nutrients by itself. Then another is crop rotation, that is process of growing crops alternately. That is one season wheat, another season leguminous plants, because the root nodules of leguminous plants contains a rhizobium bacteria which can fix atmospheric nitrogen. Next we discuss about the differences between fertilizer and manure. So first we see fertilizer. Fertilizer is an inorganic salt. It is made in factories. It does not provide humus to the soil, that is dead and decayed organic matter. It will not provide any dead and decayed organic matter to the soil. Then it contains very important nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So fertilizer is an inorganic salt. Then it is made in factories. It does not provide humus to the soil. It contains very important nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Then manure. It is a natural organic substance. It is made in the field. Then it provides a lot of humus to the soil. When compared to fertilizer, manure is less rich in plant nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. In the fertilizer, NPK is more, but in manure, NPK is less when compared to fertilizer. Then the next step, irrigation. So what is irrigation? The supply of water to crops at different intervals is called irrigation. So what is irrigation? Providing water for agriculture is called irrigation, or providing water for farming practices is called irrigation. Why water is important? Because water helps in the germination of seeds. Then for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits and seeds. Then water also absorbs nutrients from the soil. Then it protects crops from frost, hot air currents. So water is very important for the crop plants. So what is irrigation? Irrigation is the supply of water to crops at different intervals. Then which are the important sources of irrigation? So the important sources of irrigation are lakes, canals, dams, dug wells, tube wells, rivers, etc. So important sources of irrigation are lakes, canals, dams, dug wells, tube wells, rivers, even rain. Then there are two methods of irrigation. One is traditional methods of irrigation, another is modern methods of irrigation. So first we discuss about traditional methods of irrigations. So which are the traditional methods? Moat, chain pump, dekli, rahat. So which are the traditional methods of irrigation? Moat, chain pump, dekli, rahat. Here humans and animals are used as labor. So traditional method is cheap but less efficient. Next, modern methods of irrigation. So modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. The two main methods are sprinkler system and drip system. So modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. Only less water is used. The main methods of modern methods of irrigation are sprinkler system and drip system. So what is sprinkler system? So this system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. So where does we use sprinkler system? This system is used in uneven land. So this system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. Then this system has perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on the top, and these are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. So it gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. So sprinkler is very useful for sandy soil. So it is mainly used on an uneven land where water is not available. Sufficient water is not available. And it is also useful for sandy soil. Then it has perpendicular pipes. So here in the picture you can see perpendicular pipes with rotating nozzles. And these are joined to the main pipeline. Then the water is allowed to flow through the main pipeline under pressure with the help of a pump. To create pressure, there should be a pump. So water is pumped. And then when water flows with the pressure, it escapes through the rotating nozzles. So it gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. So this is about sprinkler system. Then next about drip system. So in this system, water falls drop by drop just at the position of the roots. So it is called drip system. So here water falls drop by drop where at the position of the roots. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. This system provides water to plants drop by drop. So water is not wasted at all. Since water is provided by this system falls drop by drop, water is not at all wasted. So it is a blessing for regions where the availability of water is very scarce or very poor. Water scarcity. So it is very useful in region where there is water scarcity like desert. So what is drip system? Here water falls drop by drop just at the position of the roots. So it is called a drip system. Then where we can use this system? For watering fruit plants, gardens and trees, and in regions where the availability of water is very scarce or very little or scarcity of water is there. So by this system water is not at all wasted. Why? Because it water the plants at the root just by drop. So dear children, I have given a quick revision. So you may understood better. I think so. Please study well. You have enough time now. Only very little portion is there. If you have any doubt, you please watch the videos once more. By changing the date, you can watch the recorded videos once again. So please study well, especially read the textbook well. So up to page number 9, drip system. So all the best. Write neatly, write your name, class, division. Don't forget to write all these things. So all the best children. Thank you.